Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word tonight is dress. D-R-E-S-S.
Really?
You bet your life. The DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America present Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life, the comedy quiz series produced and transcribed from Hollywood. And here he is, the one, the only...
Why doesn't he give up? Oh, that's me, Groucho Marx. Thank you. Well, here I am again with $2,000 for one of our couples. George Fenneman, who's first to try for it?
We invited some Scotch war brides to the program tonight, along with their husbands. And just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Mr. and Mrs. Clarence Parsons. And here they are. Folks, meet Groucho Marx.
Well, welcome, Scotties, for the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers. And if you say the secret word, you'll win $100 in cash immediately. It's a common word, something you see every day. What is your name? Nan Parsons, huh?
Mm-hmm.
You're a Scotch war bride, huh?
That's right.
How old are you?
25.
25?
Yes.
25-year-old Scotch, huh? Well, you look smooth and mellow, Nan. And if you ever need a chaser, give me a ring sometime. You're the war bride's husband?
Yes, sir.
Clarence Parsons.
That's right.
How old are you, Clarence?
29, sir.
Are you Scotch, too?
No, I'm half English and half Irish.
Oh. Half and half. Blended, eh? Where are you from, Clarence?
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
And what part of Scotland are you from, Nan?
I'm from Wishaw.
Wishaw?
Wishaw,
I know
Scotland.
that song. When you wish upon a star. Is that the theme song of the village?
No, it isn't.
Is it, for a chick is like the bloom of the heather, her neck was like the swan. Her face, it was the fairest I had ever looked upon. Just as sure as my name is John, when I get back again to bonny Scotland. That was one of the things that contributed towards Vaudeville's death. How long have you two been married?
6 years.
Nan, how long have you been married?
6 years.
What sort of work do you do, Clarence?
I'm manager of Carnation's demonstration store here in Los Angeles. It's Carnation Ice Cream Company.
Oh, and what do you demonstrate?
The dispensing of ice cream, sundaes, malts.
You don't milk any cows in the window or anything?
Not recently.
What were you doing when you met Butterscotch here?
I was with Lockheed attached to the 8th Air Force in Ireland at the time. I was on leave, on vacation when I met her.
How did you trap this fellow? I'm curious about it. What method does a Halen lassie use?
Oh. I think we usually...
They're much more...
Well, there must be more to it than that, huh? You apparently worked very fast, didn't you, Nan?
I guess so, but ordinarily,
Why
did you wait
you...
4 years
You
over
usually,
there?
You usually wait 4 years in
Yes,
Scotland? Why do you wait so long?
Oh.
Does it take the groom that long before he'll cough up the $2 for the license?
I think you trust them.
What's that?
It takes that long to trust them.
It takes 4 years before you know whether you can trust him? It takes longer than that, kid, but you just don't realize it. You don't seem to have much of an accent, Nan. I thought all Scotch girls talked about the broad brick, moonlich, nicht, nicht.
Well,
Why is it you don't have a burr? Not even an errand burr. If that be treason, make the most of it.
I did have an accent when I come over at first, but I lost it.
You lost it, eh? Well, I'm sorry you did, because I think it's very charming, the Scotch accent. I'm crazy about it. Are there any other Scotch war brides that you visit occasionally, Nan?
Yes, my sister.
Do you have any relatives over here besides your sister?
My in-laws and my closest relatives are overseas in Scotland.
Your close relatives are in Scotland, huh? They're going to be crazy about that crack, Nan. Are the Scots really thrifty, Nan, or is that just a kind of a legend, huh?
Oh, they're the average Scot, just as thrifty as you are.
Well, that certainly answers my question. Now, Nan, in Scotland, I understand the husband is invariably the boss. Is that true? Do the males always wear the pants in the family?
Oh, some, yes, and some have kilts.
Well, don't you find it confusing when someone says your slip is showing and you don't know whether the remark is intended for you or your boyfriend? Well, you're both very nice kids, and you have every Scottish right to be happy. Huh? Now, let's see if you're going to be the ones who get the chance at the $2,000 question. Now, in just 1 minute, you're going to play You Bet Your Life.
You'll never have to wonder about what kind of service you'll get when you take your car to a DeSoto Plymouth dealer. Well, that's where you always get efficient service, courteous service, service at a fair price. Yes, and that's where you'll find out about two truly great new cars, DeSoto and Plymouth. The brilliant new DeSoto, with its sweeping lines, is new from its magnificent full-width front grille to its smart-looking, newly designed rear end. Inside and out, it's as beautiful a car as you've ever seen. Inside and out, it's as practical a car as you've ever dreamed of. When you drive the new DeSoto, you'll be thrilled by the surge of power at your command. And remember, all dealers who sell DeSoto also sell Plymouth, the beautiful car that's packed with value and ready to prove it.
Now, let's see if you two will get a chance at the $2,000. Fenneman, explain the rules.
All right? Each of our three couples has $20. They bet as much of that 20 as they want on each of 4 questions. The couple that earns the most money gets a chance at the $2,000 DeSoto Plymouth question at the end of the show. Our other 2 couples are in a waiting room off stage, so they don't know what's happening out here.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected songs with time in the title as your category. Now, here's your first question. How much of the 20 will you risk?
10.
$10. Give me the title of this song. It's Rudy Valley's theme song. My time is your time is right.
And they're on their way with $30, Groucho.
As Fenneman says, you're on your way with $30. Remember, you're going for $2,000 tonight. Now, how much of the 30 will you try?
25.
25. What is the name of this song? It has time in the title.
Apple Blossom Time.
Apple Blossom Time is right.
They're climbing. They have $55.
You have $55. Here's your third question. How much of the 55?
50.
$50. They get along famously, don't they? This song was made famous in the picture Casablanca. What's the title?
As time goes by.
Time goes by is right.
They're really up there now. They have $105.
Man, you had me scared that time. I thought you were going to blow the Duke. You got $105. Here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 105 will you try?
All of it.
Here's your last chance to beat the other couples. You're going to bet $105. What is the title of this song? Okay, Jerry.
Time on My Hands
is right.
And they wind up with $210.
Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Now, don't go away. You may get a chance at the big question.
Groucho, the secret word is still dress.
Dress.
Perhaps our next couple will say it.
Perhaps.
Just before we went on the air, we selected a married man from the studio audience and a hotel housekeeper. And here they are, Mr. Phil Sonis and Mrs. Vera Isolde. Meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life, kids. And if you say the secret word, you divide $100 between you. It's a common word, something you see every day. A housekeeper and a husband, eh? Mrs. Vera Isolde, you're the housekeeper, huh? Yeah. Where are you from originally, Vera?
I was born on 12th Street, New York City.
I'll call you Vera, huh?
That's right. New
I
York
know
City.
That's right, but I'll call you Vera anyway. You have a charming accent there, Vera. What is it?
Touch of English.
Mr. Phil Sones?
Sonis, yes.
Sonis. What kind of an accent is that you've got?
That's California.
What part of California do you come from originally?
Chicago.
I was under the impression California only extended as far east as Pennsylvania. However, I understand they have an option on New England. What sort of work do you do?
I'm a house-to-house salesman for the Kelligan Saltwater Service Operation.
You sell houses, you say, from house to house?
No, I sell soft water.
Sounds like a pretty soft job to me. Vera, let's get back to you. I'll return to you in a moment. Don't think you've heard the last of the soft water. You're a housekeeper, you say, Vera?
Yes.
Where do you keep house?
The Flamingo in Nevada.
Keep house
Las
for
Vegas,
a flamingo? Huh? You mean you run a bird cage?
No,
What is the flamingo?
it's the most beautiful hotel in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Oh, Las Vegas. Oh, a squirrel cage, huh? Vera, you got me all confused. What does this menagerie look like?
We have wonderful grounds and a very, very nice casino.
Was that big casino or little casino? What is the casino?
Well, it's where the guests come to gamble.
Wiped out is what we call it. Do you get any free shots at the roulette table?
I don't gamble. I don't understand gambling.
That doesn't stop the other people in Las Vegas. You say you don't gamble at all? You don't understand it? What's a double six in craps?
Boxcar.
I see. You don't understand gambling, but you understand railroading. Is that it? Now, Vera, has anything unusual ever happened in your casino, like somebody winning?
Well, I've passed through sometimes and heard quite a noise because the people have won the jackpot.
What is the jackpot?
Well, it's slot machines, I believe. And
You're
when
not so certain now as you are.
Well, I don't understand very much about it, but I know some of them have put some money in, and out comes the jackpot,
proprietor,
as they
if
say it.
Out comes the proprietor and fixes the machine so no money will ever come out again. Where do you live in Las Vegas?
Well, the management gives me a room and bath.
I understand the room, but who gives you the bath? The manager, eh? That's a very old joke, but it's a very old manager, too.
It's a young manager.
A young manager. Well, in that case, you take a shower. Now, Mr. Sunnis, you might as well wake up. Do you... Tell us about this job you do, this soft water swindle that you...
It's a matter of going house to house and trying to sell the housewives on the advantages of all the soft water services that they have available to them.
And just what are they?
Well, there's mostly Kelligan soft water service. That's the one I'm associated
That's that double
with.
talk again, huh? Do you help your wife with the housework?
Occasionally.
How much do you help your wife?
About as much as other husbands.
You ever wonder what those other husbands are doing in your house? How long have you been married, Phil?
About 10 years now.
Now, how'd you meet your wife?
Well, again, it gets back to the soft water business. I was a house-to-house
What's the name of it?
The Kelligan soft water. Rang the doorbell, and this very irate young lady came to the door. She was very much provoked, and her hair was in shambles. But shortly after I got
In
through...
shambles?
In shambles.
Where is that near there?
Explain it to her.
When did she get her hair back, huh?
Well, after I got through telling her about my product, she threw her arms around me, kissed me, and the next night we had a date, and I was able to explain to her the advantages of soft water.
Well, is that the customary reaction you get?
If you use the proper approach, it's the customary reaction.
Do you need somebody to work the other side of the street? Maybe we could combine. I could use hard water across the street, huh? Well, Vera, I've made up my mind, and I'm flying to Las Vegas in the morning on my Flamingo. But right now, let's see if you can clean up in the battle for the $2,000 question. You've got to work together as a team and run your $20 into more than the other couples to get a chance at the big question. I can't tell you how much our first couple won, but Fenneman's going to remind our listeners.
The Scottish war bride and her husband won $210.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You select the colors of flowers as your category. All right, here's your first question. How much of the 20 will you try?
5.
All right, what color is a gardenia?
White.
White is correct.
Now they have $25, Groucho.
I should say white is right. Now you got $25. Remember, you're going for $2,000 tonight. Now, how much of the 25?
15.
$15. What color is a daffodil?
Yellow.
That's right.
They're on their way. They have $40.
All right, you've got $40. And here's your third question. How much of the 40?
30.
$30. What color is a poinsettia?
Red.
Red is correct.
They're climbing. They have $70 now.
All right, you got $70. And here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 70?
Shoot the moon.
What color is lilac?
Purple.
Purple is right.
And they wind up with $140.
Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Now, we'll soon know who gets the chance at the $2,000 question.
Friends, you'll find a DeSoto Plymouth dealer ready and eager to serve you no matter where you drive.
I'm driving my friends a distraction. Like to come along, Fenneman?
Well, I'll go as far as the nearest DeSoto Plymouth dealer, Groucho.
I don't want you any further, Fenneman.
Well, that's where I know there's expert factory-trained mechanics who give your car and my car the same watchful care a mother gives a baby.
Did you ever try to burp at a soda?
Expert mechanics work with factory-designed and approved tools and equipment to give you the best service job you can get, no matter what the make of your car. So visit him the very first thing tomorrow morning.
Now, won't that look pretty? All those people driving around in their pajamas. All right, Fenneman, who's ahead in the battle for the $2,000 question?
Well, the Scottish couple are ahead with $210, and the secret word is still dress. We invited some glass blowers and some movie stuntmen to the program tonight, and just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected glass blower Richard Seaman and stuntman Bob Morgan. And here they are. Gentlemen, meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome, boys, for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. And if you say the secret word, you'll divide $100 in cash. It's a common word, something you see every day. Mr. Richard Seaman.
Yeah.
You're a glass blower, is that right?
That's right.
Well, blow me down. Where are you from?
Kansas City, Missouri.
Mr. Morgan, Bob Morgan? You're the stuntman, huh?
Yes, I am.
How's tricks?
I don't do tricks. I do stunts.
Well, how's stunts, huh? Where are you from, Bob?
Mount Carmel, Illinois.
Pretty sticky place, isn't it? Where do you do your glass blowing?
I don't...
Mr. Seaman.
At the Glasscraft Company.
The Glasscraft, huh? Is that anything like the Chris Craft?
No. That's a boat, isn't it?
That's a boat, huh? Well, this is a boat glass blowing. We're talking about new. So what do you do in your job?
Well, we take molten glass and on the end of a blow iron and form it into different shapes like perfume bottles or television tubes.
What's your most popular item?
The television tubes. They're in most demand right now.
Why is that?
Well, they're scarce and everybody wants them.
Everybody wants them?
For there.
Not people who are employed in radio. Have you ever had the hiccups while blowing a light bulb? And all you got were percolator tops? Let's get back to you, stuntman. Just what do you do in your job?
Well, I double actors and stars in the business.
You mean double actors?
Whenever they have a hazardous stunt that an actor can't perform or shouldn't perform, why, they call in a stuntman to do it.
You mean if there's something an actor won't do, they hire you for the job?
Yes, that's right.
I don't see how you make any money, huh? I didn't think there was anything an actor wouldn't do. Now, how much would you charge me to jump off a 100-foot cliff?
Oh, about $10 a foot.
Well, that's cheap enough. All you have is 2 feet, huh? How much would you charge me to jump off a curb?
I don't jump from curbs.
Well, how do you get across the street? How do you manage to double for a star and keep the audience from getting wise?
Well, they generally select you because of your physical resemblance to the star. They keep our back to the camera, profile, so forth, and keep our face out of the camera as much as possible.
In many cases, the audience has their back to the picture, too, you know. Our listeners would like to know how you do some of these stunts. For example, say you jump off a 500-foot cliff. How do you manage it?
Well, ordinarily they will put a parallel about 10 feet below the top of the cliff. And the stuntman will jump to the parallel, and they'll cut away to a long shot of a dummy flying through space and landing.
Do they ever get confused?
Not yet.
Now, glassblower, are you getting the jitters listening to all this mayhem?
No, I have.
How did you get to be a glassblower?
Well,
Did you start off to school one morning, twirling your books and say, when I grow up, I'm going to be a glassblower, and nobody's going to stop me?
that was the last thing I ever thought it would be. Just looking for a job, and
Well, you went someplace where they were blowing glass? And,
yes.
And they asked you if you had any experience? And you lied, huh?
That's right.
How do you blow glass? Do you chew up old milk bottles and puff?
No, we take molten glass, and we make different articles out of it. After you get it on the end of this blowpipe, it's about 4 or 5 feet long, you can blow it into different shapes. Or
Can you control the shape of the...
Oh, yes.
Things to come?
Any shape you want.
You can, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know what shape I want, but I don't know whether you can do it. Now, what happens after the glass is shaped?
We anneal it.
I beg your pardon.
It's annealed.
It's an eel? I thought it was a television tube.
No, it's anneal. A-N-N-E-A-L.
You don't have to spell it. All the kids are in bed by now. What has an eel got to do with all this? Is it a live eel?
No, it's not an eel. It's an eel.
You know, we can be sued by Abbott and Costello over that. I think this guy's blown his top. I better humor him. What is the eel doing in your blowpipe?
Well, by that I mean anneal. You take the glass over to a furnace and you take the strains and stress out of it. And that's anneal.
Boy, you're a whiz at clarifying things. All right, now let's see how a glassblower and a stuntman make out and You Bet Your Life. You beat the other couples and you'll get a chance at the $2,000 DeSoto Plymouth question. I can't tell you how much the other two couples won, but Fenneman's off stage to remind our listeners.
The Scottish war bride and her husband are still ahead with $210.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You select the tools of the trade as your category. Now, here's your first question. How much of the 20 are you going to try?
How much do we got?
You have $20. You may wind up with $20.
$10.
All right. Who would use a mortar and a pestle?
Either a chemist or a scientist.
Well, I think that's right. It's a pharmacist, but I think you had it right, huh?
You're on the way with $30, Groucho.
All right. You're running along. You got $30. Remember, you're going for $2,000 tonight. Now, how much of the 30 will you try?
20.
$20. Who would use a stick and a press?
Printer for one thing.
That's right. A printer is right.
They're climbing. They have $50.
Here's your third question. How much of the 50? Talk it up now.
25.
How much?
25.
$25. Who would use a transit and a plumb bob?
A surveyor.
A surveyor is correct.
Now they have $75.
All right, you got $75. Here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much of the 75?
All of it?
$50.
Who would use a scalpel and a suture?
Doctor.
A doctor or a surgeon is right.
And they wind up with $125. And that means the Scotch war bride and her husband with $210 get the chance at the DeSoto Plymouth $2,000 question. Prompt, courteous service at a price that's fair. That's the creed of every DeSoto Plymouth dealer. When you drive in for service at the sign of a DeSoto Plymouth dealer, you can count on this. Expert mechanics working with factory-approved tools and equipment will give your car the careful attention you want it to have. They'll do a better job on your car in a shorter time, and that means money in your pocket. It also means a car that will give you faithful, economical service for miles and miles. So next time your car needs service, stop in and get acquainted with a DeSoto Plymouth dealer. And remember, all dealers who sell DeSoto also sell Plymouth. And here's the Scotch war bride and her husband, the winning couple, all ready for the DeSoto Plymouth $2,000 question. Groucho.
All right, kids, here's a chance to make you the two richest people in Scotland. Here we go for $2,000. I'll give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you, so think carefully and please no help in the audience. Here it is. President Truman recently made a cross-country trip to participate in a dedication at a great new dam in the Columbia River. For $2,000, what is the name of this important dam? Okay, what's the answer you two have decided upon?
Grand Coulee?
That's right. That's right, you win $2,000. You had the right answer, so you win $2,000. What are you going to do with all that money?
She's going to do it.
What are you going to do with it,
I'd
man?
like to give my husband's mother some of it, help her out. She's been so wonderful to me.
Couldn't you help her out for less money than that? All right, you win $2,000 plus $210 in the quiz. You really cleaned up tonight. Congratulations from the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast. You bet your life.
You Bet Your Life is a John Goodell production, transcribed from Hollywood, directed by Robert Dwan and Bernie Smith. Music by Jerry Fielding. Be sure to tune in again next Wednesday night at this time for the Groucho Marx Show, You Bet Your Life, presented by the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers of America. And remember, all dealers who sell DeSoto also sell Plymouth, two great cars, both products of the Chrysler Corporation. And don't forget, next week the big question will be worth $1,000.
Good night, folks, and remember, just be sure to see your DeSoto Plymouth dealer.
Folks, here's a tip from the National Safety Council. Don't wait for a rainy day to check your windshield wipers. This is George Fenneman signing off for the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast.